Stephen Guilbeault, secretary, lied to me this morning about the time and location of his press conference in order to hide our boss from Rebel News question. We caught it on camera and we are going to show it to you. Mr. Guilbeault, I just want to clarify something. Ever since myself and Ezra Levin asked you a question earlier this week outside of the summit, our team had our media accreditation removed until we issue a legal demand letter in response. Today, for us to get inside this conference, I was lied about this conference to be postponed and to be changed, and nobody had get back to me. It was hard to get here. So how come the United Nations and yourself are not for press freedom? Alexa here in Ottawa, covering the other side of the story at the United Nations Plastic Summit. Elites and delegates from around the world flew in to discuss the future of plastic. These people are unelected and thus unaccountable. These foreigners consume huge amounts of fuel to travel to Canada while telling ordinary people to reduce our fuel consumption. Rebel News received accreditation to take part in this event, and we thanked the UN for this. Telling the other side of the story and asking hard questions is our mandate, and it is usually not welcome at such events. There were several moments, however, where some people tried to obstruct our journalism. Stephen Guilbeault refused to answer questions asked of him by Ezra Levin on the first day of the conference, while surrounded by his large entourage of drones.
You claim that your Twitter account was a personal account. If that's the case, why didn't you pay the fine personally?
Stephen Guilbeault was clearly unhappy with this incident, but that's part of the politician job that they sign in for. Following this, all our media accredited team members received emails changing our accreditation status to pending. The press conference with Guilbeault was postponed, maybe to buy them time to figure out what to do with us, while a United Nations man tried to expel us from the room.
I don't want to miss it. I know, but it's just 2 minutes.
No.
Just 2 minutes.
No, I'm sorry. After?
Yeah. Sorry?
After.
After the press conference?
Yes. Thank you.
We stood our ground, though. Both UN staff and Guilbeault's team panicked after we politely asked 2 questions.
Ezra Levant for Rebel News, and I'd like to thank the UN for accrediting a citizen journalist outlet like us. Mr. Guilbeault, according to the Globe and Mail, you serve on the China Council for International Cooperation on Environment and Development, which is a government agency controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. Is that a conflict of interest with your role as a Canadian cabinet minister? And is it perhaps why you have really been gentle on China, even though it is by far the world's largest polluter, including with plastics pollution?
Our accreditation status was quickly restored that same day, thanks to our lawyer who sent a legal letter to the United Nations. Their first tactic to cancel us failed. They again tried to obstruct our journalism the next day, but we were still accredited.
Have somebody from the UN come in.
Okay.
To deal with your past not functioning, okay?
Yeah, okay, perfect.
It should be down in a few seconds. If you just want to step aside to let the other person.
A UN drone employee told me that someone complained about us after our street Scrum.
Yeah.
Why then
Yeah, exactly.
all my colleagues suddenly receive all the same email that Ribbon News was pending?
Oh no, yesterday, the receiving of the pending news yesterday was because a complaint was made that there was disturbance at the front of the building.
Which he said was why our accreditation status had changed. Again, scrumming politicians is part of our job as media and an essential tool for holding politicians accountable. As soon as we arrived at the conference center on Friday morning, a nervous and agitated female security officer tried to delay our entry by physically obstructing us and awkwardly asking questions about our media accreditation.
Ça va bien?
Oui. She also whispered something to a UN security.
Sorry, I just want to check, is there any problem? Because the woman at the entrance, she came to us and she was like really, like, I don't know, agitated, and she let us enter and she came to see you like, afterwards, and you, the security woman with the curly hair. No. Yeah, she called you when we enter. No. I just want to know, is there any problem?
No, not at all.
After we arrived at the conference center for the media scrum with Guilbeault, one of the minister's staffers began moving the press conference banner and table into a room marked staff only. Guilbeault's secretary then told me that the press conference was postponed until the afternoon without any further details.
You know, you work for the United Nations? No. Or
Avec
Guilbeault? The press conference is supposed to take place here.
On n'a pas de press conference ce matin.
Oui, il y a un scrum.
Non, pas ce matin.
J'ai reçu l'invitation.
Oui, c'est plus tard ça, cet après-midi parce que toute l'avant-midi a été décalée.
Décalée par quoi?
Par un événement privé avec le ministre. J'ai pas encore de localisation pour la conférence de presse, mais je peux vous tenir au courant. J'ai juste pas cette information-là sur moi encore.
OK. Votre nom? Caitlin. Caitlin? Oui, Caitlin. Mais vous n'avez pas une carte ou comment que je peux faire pour vous rejoindre?
Je vais être ici, je vais sortir pour vous dire.
What she told us was a completely different information than what she mentioned to other media. For them, it was the same hour, different level.
Ça va être au 4e étage.
Ils l'ont changé.
Au 4e étage, dans Open Space, ils vont mettre une bannière dans le fond, comme, puis c'est pas une salle, c'est...
À 11h30?
11h15.
11h15? I'm going there.
They probably didn't expect us to follow the other media outlets who needed to drag the heavy equipment to the elevator. At the new location, news media received a private message from Guilbeault's secretary telling them to come back to the original location.
She texted me, hey, it's going to be here in front of the painting finally, first floor. So we gotta go back down. Gotta go back down.
Are you kidding?
Of course, we were not informed of this, but we followed again. You cannot trick us with this kind of tactic. I then asked Guilbeault if he and the UN believe in press freedom since they did so much to get rid of us. Mr. Guilbeault, I just want to clarify something. Ever since myself and Ezra Levin asked you a question earlier this week outside of the summit, our team had our media accreditation removed until we issue a legal demand letter in response. Today, for us to get inside this conference, I was lied about this conference to be postponed and to be changed, and nobody had get back to me. It was hard to get here. So how come the United Nations and yourself are not for press freedom? Our question is too hard?
I think I heard your colleague, Mr. Levin, thank the United Nations the other day in the press conference for taking his question. Obviously, Canada does not issue accreditation for media or for participant. This is a United Nations forum, but your colleague thanked the United Nations the other day.
Yeah, but how come your media relation actually lied to me and actually tell me that that was not happening anymore and that was postponed for this afternoon?
I have worked with my colleague for 4 years and she's never lied. So I'm sorry, but I profoundly disagree with the characterization of your question.
You can see how they operate to cancel and stifle the voice of independent media. If you wish to support our hard work, legal fees, and travel expenses, please consider contributing what you can at nogreenreset.com, and don't forget to sign our petition.